Since hyper-ethnocentric black people and white guilt-ridden liberals see racism everywhere, imagining it around every corner, they're not even happy when films depict a black person possessing a unique quality that's used to help others who happen to be white. That's what they call employing the magical N-word trope. I can't even say it or they'll lose their mind. You know how they are about hearing white people use certain words. That's how bad black fragility has gotten. But that's what they call it, the magical N-word trope. And Spike Lee once went off over the legend of Bagger Vance because Will Smith's character comes to help Matt Damon win a golf tournament that takes place in Georgia in the 1930s. It's an inspirational movie which uses golf as a vehicle to tell the story. I won't spoil the ending in case you haven't seen it because it's pretty good, but Spike Lee couldn't enjoy it, saying blacks are getting lynched left and right, and Bagger Vance is more concerned about improving Matt Damon's golf swing. How dare someone make a movie with a black character that's not about slavery, and especially where a black person helps a white person. Spike Lee called Will Smith's character a happy slave, even though he was a free man since slavery ended 65 years before the story takes place and had nothing to do with the plot whatsoever. Whoopi Goldberg's character in Ghost has been criticized as a magical N-word because she helps the spirit of Patrick Swayze communicate with his widow after he dies. I guess she should have lectured him about his white privilege instead. Michael Clark Duncan's character in The Green Mile also upset some black people because he has the power to heal sickness and disease and ends up using his ability on several white people who work in a prison where he's being held despite being on death row for a crime he didn't commit. It seems some people hate whites so bad that they can't stand to see a black person do anything nice to them. No good deed goes unpunished, as the saying goes, and when well-meaning Hollywood studios produce films of white people helping black people, that too is criticized as being a racist trope called the white savior narrative. In Finding Forrester, Sean Connery's character is a reclusive but well-known writer who crosses paths with a black teen who plays basketball in the courts across the street from his apartment. Connery learns the kid has a gift for writing, and he helps to encourage that. And later the boy is accused of plagiarism because his teacher doesn't think that he has the ability to write as well as he does, but Connery vouches for him in a surprise appearance at the school, preventing him from failing the class. That's racist because the white savior comes to the rescue of a black person. In The Blind Side, Sandra Bullock is considered to be a white savior for taking in a black homeless kid named Big Mike, who becomes a football star thanks to her help. One critic said that The Blind Side peddles the most insidious kind of racism, one in which whiteys, that's what the critic called white people, whiteys are virtuous saviors, coming to the rescue of blacks who become superfluous in narratives that are supposed to be about them. Others attacked the film because they felt it depicted Sandra Bullock saving Big Mike from inner city black people who were poor and violent. Apparently, they would have been happier if she just left him to waste away in the ghetto. White people are often damned if they do, damned if they don't. Other popular films liberals got upset about because they feature white saviors are Dangerous Minds, because a white teacher helps educate black and Latino students in a poverty-stricken part of the city, and even Gran Torino, because Clint Eastwood helps his Asian neighbors fight against a black gang in Detroit. Cool Runnings, a film about a Jamaican bobsled team, was attacked because the Jamaicans wouldn't have made it to the Olympics without the white savior John Candy, their trainer. Even Avatar has been accused of this since a white character using a remote control avatar of an alien body helps the alien race save their planet from human invaders looking to take their natural resources. In the 1980s, Diff'rent Strokes was a popular sitcom about a rich white man living in Manhattan who adopts two black orphans from Harlem. At the time, the series covered a lot of serious issues, like racism, drug use, and even child abuse. But today, some see it as another example of a white savior plot. One online magazine even included Diff'rent Strokes on its 50 most racist TV shows list. It seems nothing can make black identity extremists happy. Well, except hating white people. They do enjoy that. In a black revenge fantasy called Kraka, a neo-Nazi is sent to a parallel universe that takes place in the 1800s, where whites are slaves and black people are in control of America. Kraka, of course, being an anti-white racial slur that angry blacks love to call white people, a ghettoized derivative of cracker. In the trailer for the film, before the Nazi is transported back to the alternative reality, he and his friends attack a random black man, and his car is shown to have a Trump 2020 bumper sticker on it. The film's slogan is, "You stole our freedom, now we steal yours." It clearly isn't meant to put whites in the shoes of blacks and make them reflect on the injustices of the past. Instead, Kraka is a violent black revenge fantasy. Posts on the official Facebook page are filled with anti-white rhetoric like, "You're in our world now." Trayvon Martin's mom endorsed the series, saying that she applauds the bravery and vision of the producers. Sometimes when popular novels are made into movies, now the studios feel they need to add some anti-whiteism to remind the audience how terrible white people are. When Tom Clancy's best-selling book, The Sum of All Fears, was turned into a film starring Morgan Freeman and Ben Affleck, the plot was changed from Palestinian terrorists trying to dupe the United States and Russia into a nuclear war because of the United States' support for Israel, to a story about white supremacists trying to trick the two superpowers into a nuclear war so they could build a whites-only Europe. The movie was so different from the book that when Tom Clancy introduced himself on the DVD commentary, he said that he was the person who wrote the book that the producers ignored. When the Watchmen comic book was turned into a television series on HBO, of all the villains the superheroes could have been fighting, the producers decided to have them tackle the problems brought about by white supremacist forces. The series creator said, in a traditional superhero movie, the good guys are fighting the aliens, and when they beat the aliens go back to their planet and everybody wins, but there's no defeating white supremacy, and so it's the perfect, formidable foe for a series. It kicked off depicting the Tulsa race riots of 1921, where mobs of blacks and whites fought and killed each other after a black man was arrested for assaulting a white woman, and a group of armed black men came to the jail out of concern that he had been lynched, which he hadn't, by the way. The series started with this to set the stage that not much has changed in the United States, and black people are still supposedly being lynched on a regular basis. The show revolves around a modern-day fictional white supremacist group in Tulsa, Oklahoma called the 7th Cavalry, who wage war against the local police because the city decided to pay reparations to black people. And in order to protect themselves from the evil white supremacists, the police hide their identities by wearing masks and costumes. The original Watchmen comic book series and the 2009 movie depicted the vigilante superheroes fighting crime at the height of the Cold War between the United States and Soviet Union. And obviously many fans were disappointed in the HBO series, turning them into social justice warriors because it has about a 50% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which critics then blamed on racist alt-right trolls who didn't want to confront the imaginary systemic white supremacy in America. There's so much more about the entertainment industry and the liberal media industrial complex you should know about. So order my book, Hollywood Propaganda, How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture, in paperback from Amazon.com, or download the ebook from Kindle, iBooks, Nook, or Google Play. My books are where you'll find my complete and uncensored analysis, because I have to tone it down here a little bit. So head on over to Amazon.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.